Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula is one of the world's best-known vacation destinations. It is unfortunately also a place where tourists sometimes die in unexpected and shocking ways. One such tourist was Dmitry Chernov. Chernov visited the coastal city of Cancun in August of 2017, but to the dismay of his friends and family back home in Russia, Chernov never returned. This is the terrifying and tragic story of how Dmitry Chernov met his demise while swimming inside a cenote, one of Mexico's most unusual and stunning natural features. Dmitry Chernov was 31 years old when he arrived in the state of Quintana Roo on Mexico's eastern coast. Chernov is something of a mysterious figure, other than the fact that in August of 2019 he was 31 years of age, and the fact that he was a temporary resident of Quintana Roo at the time. Not much has been made public. What brought him all the way to Mexico, some 10,000 plus kilometers away from his home country of Russia, is ultimately unknown. However, what may have drawn Chernov could have at least in part been a love of the outdoors. He chose to travel to an extremely beautiful location, famous for its beaches and tropical rainforests. Another very distinctive feature of the Yucatan Peninsula's topography is its assortment of cenotes. Cenotes are large underground chambers whose ceilings have collapsed, thus giving the appearance of a huge vertical cave. These vertical caves, almost like holes punched into the surface of the earth, are scattered throughout the Yucatan Peninsula. Some estimates put the number as high as 7,000 or more. In addition to being enormously wide, deep, and full of beautiful fauna, cenotes usually also have fresh water inside them, making them popular swimming destinations. This also makes them dangerous, especially for tourists and others not familiar with the area, such as Dmitry Chernov. On August 5, 2019, Chernov and a friend traveled to a cenote in Quintana Roo called L'Umm Balam. L'Umm Balam was located inside a biopark where private tours were often conducted. The cenote is well known for having particularly crystal clear water, but this can be deceptive. The underwater space below the surface is nothing short of cavernous and connects to one of the largest underground cave systems in the world. It doesn't matter if you're Michael Phelps or David Blaine. You cannot swim fast enough or hold your breath long enough to even begin exploring the extent of what's below the surface. It is possible that Dmitry Chernov didn't realize this. Or it's possible he simply made a fatal miscalculation. Either way, what happened on that day, August 5th, would cast a dark shadow over the biopark that would end up never truly going away. Around 3 p.m. that afternoon, Chernov and his friend entered the cool, clear waters of the L'Umm Balam cenote. However, as investigators would later determine, Chernov ended up unknowingly deviating from the approved swimming area within a matter of seconds. That's because a channel that was supposed to have been blocked off for safety reasons simply wasn't. There were two really good reasons why this area of the cenote was supposed to be closed off. The first was that it was dark. Sunlight naturally pours in from the main opening of the cenote, but only covers the areas directly below. You don't have to travel too far astray to find yourself in stark darkness, because after all, you are in fact dozens of feet underground. The second reason the area should have been closed off was that it went very far into this rapidly increasing darkness and very, very deep underwater. But if that wasn't dangerous enough, there was arguably a third reason why the area should have been blocked off. And that was to keep thrill-seeking swimmers away from one highly tempting feature of this particular cenote. This also happens to be the only factor that we can be reasonably sure Dmitry Chernov was aware of prior to entering the cenote. Almost mythologically, visitors spoke of an air bell, meaning a chamber with breathable air deep inside this forbidden section of the cenote. Adventurers seeking to visit this rare, untraveled location deep beneath the earth needed to swim a colossal distance of 50 meters underwater to reach it. On August 5th, 2019, Dmitry Chernov's plan was to attempt to reach this legendary air bell. The problem, in addition to this being illegal, was that it is an astronomically risky endeavor. To put it into perspective, reaching the air bell means holding your breath and swimming the length of an Olympic swimming pool. Only instead of swimming across, you have to swim down. And instead of swimming in daylight, you're swimming in the dark. It is the aquatic equivalent of trying to leap from one skyscraper to another while wearing a blindfold. It is tantalizingly possible, in theory, but the potential for disaster is tough to overstate. Swelling with determination and captivated by visions of what the underground chamber might be like to successfully discover, Chernov kept an eye on the rest of the people visiting the cenote as he took heavy, rhythmic breaths, filling his lungs with oxygen. Then, after one final breath, he slipped his head under the water and began to swim. The question of whether or not Chernov knew he was swimming in a restricted area, and to what extent he had to deliberately bypass safety measures, would later become a subject of legal debate in Mexico. It's clear that Chernov was trying to reach this fabled air bell and must have realized the risks involved, but it's also clear that the area wasn't properly blocked off.
Spring into savings and refresh your home at Ashley with up to 30% off designer picks, where we have a selection of items created by our elite team just for you. Plus special financing options for every budget, only at Ashley.
Petconomics Savings Lesson 12. At Petco, better care for your pet means more savings for you. Now the ball's in your court. Vital Care by Petco makes it easier and more affordable to care for your pet. Petco. Healthier pet, healthier budget.
Meaning, not only that Chernov wasn't stopped from his pursuit, but that he also may well have been underinformed. As the sounds of sun-soaked activity were suddenly muted, Dmitry Chernov inverted his body underwater and began swimming the breaststroke, propelling himself as steadily and as quickly as he could. For the average, healthy young adult to swim a distance of 50 meters while using the breaststroke, it might reasonably take about 60 seconds. Most adults can hold their breath for longer than that without passing out, but without training, it isn't necessarily easy, especially if you're swimming hard and expending tons of extra energy. Another complicating factor in Chernov's case was the fact he was swimming in a downward direction. Thanks to gravity, this would actually help increase the distance he would cover per second. However, this would have the reverse effect on the way back up, and would be particularly problematic if Chernov decided to bail and turn around halfway. Chernov continued to swim down the poorly lit underwater world. He tried like hell to keep his mind focused without letting the rapidly depleting oxygen in his lungs cause him to panic. What happened next is hauntingly uncertain. Some sources, including the National Speleological Society, report that Dmitry Chernov did in fact reach an air bell some 50 meters below the surface. Other sources, including an anonymous source who was present at the scene of Chernov's rescue operation, say that Chernov did not find any air bell, seemingly implying that there is no air bell to find, and the whole thing is just a dangerous legend. What all sources seem to agree on is that after reaching the 50-meter point where he believed the air bell was, Chernov did something startling. He continued to swim even deeper into the cenote. The reason for this is a mind-bending one. Chernov was so deep underwater and so far away from sunlight that he could not figure out which way was up and which way was down. Whether he managed to reach the air bell, recover his breath, and eventually dip back underwater, or he simply never got a chance to breathe again, Chernov made the wrong choice and swam a ways in the wrong direction before getting caught. Here, alone, well over 100 feet below the surface of the Luumbalam cenote, he drowned. Attempts to recover the body of 31-year-old Dmitry Chernov proved difficult, to put it mildly. Rescue workers had to make several attempts, all trying to enter the underwater chamber the same way Chernov did, before realizing the only way to extract his body was by drilling holes in the bedrock. This would allow personnel to access Chernov's body from a different angle. However, it proved costly, time-consuming, and incredibly elaborate. First, a very precise and thorough survey had to be conducted in the low-visibility environment. Next, once workers had identified the exact spot where they needed to drill, bulldozers were called in to clear out a huge patch of the jungle. Once a pathway was cleared, no less than 20 truckloads of gravel were brought into the remote location to provide a road for the drilling rig to drive in on. Yes, they literally had to build a road in order to recover Dmitry Chernov. After flattening the rainforest, paving the road, and driving a 10-ton drilling rig to the area, it was only then that the real work could begin. Drilling a hole that was 36 inches wide, the massive drilling rig bore into the ground near the edge of the Balom cenote. It eventually drilled an astonishing distance of 26 feet before piercing through and creating a makeshift tunnel through which Chernov could be extracted. Chernov's body was finally removed from the Balom cenote on August 11th, nearly a week after he drowned. The news of Chernov's tragic and horrifying death quickly cast a dark spell over the remainder of that summer in Mexico's tropical paradise. Chernov wasn't the only tourist to die in the Yucatan Peninsula that summer either. The Yucatan Times reported later that August that a total of 9 tourists had died so far that season, though Chernov's was the only death unequivocally due to unnatural causes. Local authorities also came under fire for the fact that Chernov was able to access this supposedly off-limits area of the cenote. Local publications, such as the periodical Noti Caribe, said that the biopark might be held liable for Chernov's death. Today, the Balom Biopark is permanently closed. Amid tragedy, legal woes, and the rest, the fundamental mystery appears to remain unsolved. Is there an air bell underneath the Balom cenote or not? Perhaps the risks of finding out are simply too great, and now that the park is closed, we may never know for sure. We hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. Have you ever experienced any of Mexico's famous cenotes? Please share your thoughts and experiences with us in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and please be sure to like the video and subscribe for more content like this in the near future. That's all for now. We'll see you next time.
Dude, this is a horrible gaming experience. I don't live like this.
Well, I don't know, Linus. I don't have time to research upgrades for this thing. Can't you just build me one?
Do I look like a PC building company that uses only the best components from reliable manufacturers and can assemble a PC for the low price of $99 while guaranteeing an incredible gaming experience? Wait a minute. Wow, that was quick.
Whoa! Thanks, Linus!
Yeah,
6 men, 1 cave, the Cascade Cave. Jason Story kissed his lovely wife goodbye on a rainy day for this thrilling cave exploring experience in the company of his friends. Their intent to explore deep within the cave was cut short when one of the team members was shivering violently, only to be met with a horrifying flood on their way out. Would they make it out alive? Beneath the surface of the earth, near the city of Port Alberni, Vancouver Island, Canada, lies a treacherous world waiting to be explored, the Cascade Cave. Shrouded in secrecy and danger, it remains hidden behind a locked hatch that only the bravest dare to open. The key to this hatch is not given to just anyone. It's reserved for those who are willing to sign waivers, acknowledging the risks of venturing into this underground abyss. With each step forward, the darkness engulfs the explorers as they navigate through impossibly tight and winding tunnels. The cold, damp walls of the cave bear witness to centuries of mysterious formations and geological wonder. The descent is not for the faint of heart, as it drops 338 feet below the surface of the earth. The echoes of every breath and every footfall reverberate through the eerie depths of Cascade Cave. Every twist and turn presents a new challenge, and the explorers must summon all their strength and courage to push forward. But for those who are willing to take the risk, the secrets that lie within are truly awe-inspiring. In the early hours of December 5th, 2015, at 6 a.m., Jason Story stood ready for the adventure of a lifetime. He was about to journey into the heart of darkness, a world of unknown dangers and untold wonders. The rain pounded down relentlessly, but Jason paid it no heed. He had already said goodbye to his wife Caroline and was ready to join 5 of his closest friends on a journey to the Cascade Cave, 80 miles northwest of his home in the city of Duncan on Vancouver Island. Jason was dressed for the worst possible conditions: 2 sweatshirts over his t-shirt, neoprene socks, rubber boots, and a water-resistant jacket, all tucked neatly into a pair of overalls. But he was most proud of his new helmet and headlamp, his trusty companions in the inky blackness of the cave. This was to be Jason's toughest caving expedition yet, and he knew that every step he took could be his last. But he was driven by an insatiable curiosity and a need to push the limits of human endurance and explore the unknown depths of the earth. After departing from his house that morning, Jason joined up with his team of explorers, composed of his friends. Despite being the oldest member of the group at 43 and having the least experience, Jason, a stocky father of 2 toddlers and a university drama graduate turned entrepreneur who owns a window washing company, eagerly joined the adventure. He was introduced to the sport by his friend Andrew Munoz, a wiry paramedic and former caving guide who is an expert caver and would be able to handle any unforeseen problems. Joining them on the journey were 2 more friends, Adam Shepard, who is also a paramedic, and Zach Zariski, a chef and volunteer firefighter. They drove through heavy rain to the parking lot of a log cabin candy store in Port Alberni, where they received the key to the metal door. Upon arrival, they met up with Matt Watson and Arthur Taylor, both computer programmers. After arriving in Port Alberni, the group drove along an unmarked forest trail for approximately half a mile before reaching a small clearing where they parked. They then proceeded to take inventory of their climbing equipment, which included ropes, harnesses, carabiners, and a small ladder that they intended to use to descend into the opening of the cave. They also packed a small gas stove, food, water, and a first aid kit that contained a Mylar space blanket. Once they finished checking their gear, they ventured into the forest in search of the entrance to Cascade Cave. Despite its incredible significance, the entrance to the cave was just a small steel hatch in the ground, which could easily be missed if you weren't specifically looking for it. After searching for some time, the group arrived at the hatch around 10 a.m. and unlocked it using the key, which they inserted into the small hole beside it. Following this, they attached their aluminum ladder to 2 carabiners near the cave opening and secured ropes to their harnesses, which they used to belay each other down the ladder. One by one, they descended into the cave, with the last person closing and locking the hatch behind them. As a result, the final bit of light that had been filtering into the cave was now gone. To ensure that they could exit the cave safely, they tied the key to the bottom of the ladder. If the key was lost, they would be unable to reopen the hatch. As they made their descent, the cave descended 30 feet straight down from the surface into the first chamber. With only their headlamps to guide them, the group took their first glance around the subterranean abyss, which would serve as their home for the next few hours. Andrew, who had become the de facto leader of the group, called out, "Everyone okay?" To which they all responded positively. Although the environment was damp and chilly, with temperatures barely above freezing, this was what they had expected, and so they proceeded down the first narrow passageway from the initial chamber. On either side of them were jagged boulders, and the ceiling.
Snap your W-2 and file your simple tax return with both Fed and State for free. See if you qualify. Get the TurboTax app now.
Still recharging.
T-Mobile knows whether you break down in the middle of nowhere or get a flat tire on the edge of somewhere, people everywhere trust AAA to get them back on the road. And AAA trusts T-Mobile to be their exclusive wireless partner, because T-Mobile covers more highway miles with 5G than anyone. So with AAA's nationwide fleet connected on T-Mobile, the middle of nowhere is a lot closer than you think.
The ceiling was dripping with water from all the moisture in the cave. As they penetrated deeper into the cave, the dripping water gradually turned into a small stream that flowed along the cave floor. Initially, it was only up to their ankles, but as they crouched through the narrow tunnels, it eventually rose to their shins. About 45 minutes into their journey, Adam determined that he could not continue any longer. He had strained his back a few weeks earlier, and all the bending over was causing it to flare up again. He bid farewell and good luck to the others, and then Matt accompanied him back to the cave's entrance. After safely escorting Adam out and locking the hatch, Matt rejoined the group as they continued their slow and treacherous journey through the narrow passages, crawling and sliding their way forward for an hour and a half. Even though the entire group was within 100 feet of each other, they were often obscured from view by the rock formations. Jason was awestruck by the sights he was witnessing. Andrew had previously told him that Vancouver Island had over 1,000 caves and tunnels, and each was unique. Cascade Cave was a new experience for Jason, unlike anything he had seen before. They eventually arrived at the first distinctive feature of the cave, Bastard's Crawl, a narrow passageway that required them to crab walk and brace themselves against the ceiling to avoid sliding down the wet rocks due to the sharp downward slope. Upon emerging from Bastard's Crawl, the group arrived at Double Trouble, the only major waterfall in the cave. Its name derives from the fact that the stream splits into two after striking a rock at the top of the waterfall before cascading down 50 feet onto the rocks below in a large chamber. They secured their rappel lines at the top of the waterfall and then cautiously descended the slippery rocks into the chasm, with water spraying down on either side. Despite the danger, Jason was thrilled with the challenge and eager for more. After successfully making it down Double Trouble, the group walked a short distance away from the waterfall to regroup and have some lunch. They also noticed that the water coming down seemed to be increasing in strength. It was just before 1 p.m., 3 hours into their journey, and they were sitting underground at a depth of 200 feet, using their small stove to heat up some beef stew. Despite being in complete darkness except for their headlamps, they were happy with the progress they had made. After a 20-minute break, they continued on their journey with less than 1 mile left to go, before reaching the end of the cave. However, as they approached the 300-foot mark from where they had lunch, Zach began shivering violently. The cold had crept in during their brief rest, but since they were so close to the end of the cave, they all decided to turn back and head for the exit. As the group retraced their path back to Double Trouble, they immediately noticed a significant increase in the volume and force of the water. What was once a manageable flow had turned into a violent, frothy rush. Jason couldn't help but wonder how this happened so quickly. Was it due to runoff from the rain? Matt led the way up the waterfall, followed by Arthur, Jason, and then Zach and Andrew, the most experienced cavers, bringing up the rear. The water was now carrying a lot more mud, which stuck to their feet as they walked. Climbing up was always slower than climbing down, and with the stronger water flow, finding footholds was even more challenging. After successfully ascending Double Trouble, Jason couldn't shake the thought of how the water had intensified so rapidly. He wondered how runoff from the rain could have such a significant impact on the flow of the streams. As they continued beyond Double Trouble, Jason had to crawl on his stomach through a tight passage, enduring the freezing water pelting him in the face. After passing an outcropping, he encountered the split in the passage and hesitated, unsure which way to go. With no one in sight, he decided to climb back down and seek guidance. As he descended about 15 feet, the water suddenly surged and swept his feet right out from under him, knocking him onto his back and completely submerging him in the stream. He struggled to stand up, but the force of the water was pulling him down, making him act like a cork in the narrow passage. The pressure around him continued to increase, and if he didn't act fast, he'd be swept out of the passage and over Double Trouble, falling 50 feet onto the rocks below. His boot was jammed, and the frigid water was sapping his strength and making him extremely cold. As he lay on his back, he realized he needed to call for help, but when he tried, he choked on the water that flooded into his mouth. After what seemed like an eternity of struggling in the freezing water for about 5 minutes, Jason's mind raced with thoughts of his family. He desperately held on to mental images of his wife Caroline, who had cautioned him to be careful that morning, and his 2 children, 5-year-old Jack and 3-year-old Poppy. Finally, he managed to let out a guttural cry for help. Zach, who had followed Jason up, was now at the top of double trouble and quickly alerted Andrew that Jason was in trouble. Andrew hurriedly climbed up behind Zach and rushed to the bottom of the crawl, where Jason was stuck. Andrew yelled at Jason to keep his head above water and attempted to pull him out, but the tight space and the rushing water made it incredibly challenging to gain any leverage. The water was so loud, Jason could barely communicate with Andrew. So,
what if you could do SEO smarter and faster? With Wix, you can edit your meta tags page by page or all in one go. Modify your URLs, inspect all of them in one click, and more. Save time, customize freely with SEO on Wix.
So Andrew began shouting specific instructions to Jason, guiding his hands and feet to stable positions to enable him to help pull him out. Unfortunately, as he started pulling Jason out, the water surged over his head and pushed him back into the recess. They restarted the process, with Andrew continuing to shout specific positions while Jason struggled through the torrent. Finally, Andrew managed to grab Jason's arm and pull him out of the rushing water. Jason's hands and face emerge from the water, and he takes in gulps of air like he's got the hiccups. He managed to say, "My leg's caught." His voice is slurred and slow, almost if he's had a stroke. He tries to dislodge his boot, but it won't budge. Though they're out of the worst of it, they're still almost submerged in the stream. Andrew urges Jason to keep moving and reassures him that they'll get his leg free. He explains that they need to keep moving because every second spent in the water brings them closer to hypothermia, and the flow of the water is only getting stronger by the second. After freeing his leg, Jason and Andrew continued further into Bastard's Crawl. Once they were safe, Andrew instructed Zach to stay with Jason while he retrieved their bags. Upon returning with the supply bag, Andrew immediately wrapped Jason in the mylar blanket to warm him up. He explained to Zach that the water had risen and was flowing even faster, and urged him to go ahead and inform the others about what had happened. If he and Jason weren't able to catch up within 30 minutes, they should exit the cave and alert search and rescue. Andrew also realized that if they were unable to leave the area, there wouldn't be enough room for 3 people to stay. He used the gas stove to heat water and poured it over Jason's clothes in an attempt to warm him up. Andrew suspected that Jason was in stage 2 hypothermia, since he had stopped shivering and his face had lost its color, even though he didn't have a thermometer to confirm it. Fortunately, Jason regained his color and became warm enough to attempt to exit the cave, thanks to the mylar blanket and warm water. Normally, it would have taken about an hour to reach the surface from their location, but the rushing water made it a difficult climb. The final part of Bastard's Crawl had a gap of only 4 inches between the water and the ceiling, which meant they could not crawl through it and keep their heads above water. Andrew realized that they had to turn back and wait for conditions to improve, while also hoping that the cave would not be completely submerged. Upon descending, they discovered a mostly dry ledge jutting out at a 45-degree angle with just enough space for the 2 of them. The stream that ran through the cave sprayed the outer edge of the ledge, so Andrew and Jason stayed on the opposite side to remain dry. Andrew braced himself on the ledge as well and made himself comfortable for the long wait. The underground caves can have small microclimates that differ from those on the surface. Inside Cascade, the rushing water was so powerful that it caused a windy environment on the ledge, and eventually the water rose to just a few feet from where they were sitting. At 6 p.m., Andrew and Jason were still 200 feet underground, huddled together under the mylar blanket. It had been 3 hours since Zach left, and they had no way of knowing whether their friends had made it out of the cave or not. There was a possibility that the rest of the cave was blocked by water, or that someone was stuck or injured, or even worse, that no one made it out and no help was coming. Fortunately, the rest of the group managed to exit the cave and reach an area with cell service, where they contacted search and rescue teams at 9 p.m. The rescuers went into the cave immediately to reach the trapped men, but the water level was too high and moving too quickly. They hoped that the water wasn't filling up the whole cave and prayed that the two trapped men had found shelter further into the cave. Andrew and Jason sat in the darkness inside the cave, their headlamps turned off to conserve battery. As time passed, the water level gradually rose, making it impossible to sleep as they clung to the 45-degree ledge, fearing they might slip into the water. Andrew contemplated recording a farewell message to his infant daughter, but resisted, not wanting to give up. Jason drew on his theatrical training to regulate his breathing and keep his face warm with his sweatshirt pulled over his nose. He wondered about his family and his life insurance coverage. Andrew recited a mantra from the science fiction novel Dune to keep his fear at bay. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little black death that brings total...
With AAA Auto Insurance, you can choose the right coverage at the right price, thanks to our triple check review.
That's a pretty tight spot.
Watch this.
Your Buick perks itself. That's so you.
Of course you know where we're going. That's so you.
I only got a 6 cents.
And a head-up display.
They're here.
At the heart of every Buick SUV is you.
Get 3.9% APR for 5 years and no monthly payments for 90 days. Plus, current eligible non-GM owners get $750 purchase allowance on Buick Encore GX models.
Blue Springs State Park in Florida is like heaven for scuba divers. With proper certification, divers can explore an underwater world that descends 120 feet into crystal clear water. In addition to a dream-like maze of winding rock formations and passageways, the spring is also home to a large population of manatees. It seems like something out of a Disney movie, but in reality, there's a reason why the park requires diving certification. It's quite dangerous. And while accidents here are not common, they do happen. One of the worst took place in October of 2013. Two divers had a serious catastrophe under the surface of Blue Spring. Not only did it make headline news around the country, but it also left Volusia County in a state of deep shock and fear. The event. October 9th, 2013 was a Wednesday. It may have been the middle of fall, but in central Florida it was warm, sunny, and characteristic.
Isn't ready yet.
Samuel Slack, a 36-year-old diving enthusiast from Edgewater, was headed to Blue Spring State Park. Along with him was his friend and diving partner Daniel Van Sickle, a 37-year-old from New Smyrna Beach. Like many who came to visit Blue Spring Park, Slack and Van Sickle were intending to scuba dive. Both men had loaded up on all the essential diving equipment, but for Samuel Slack, there was one thing missing. He didn't have the proper certification to dive below 60 feet. His diving partner, Daniel Van Sickle, had previously obtained an open water and advanced certificate in New Smyrna Beach, but he was alone in that. Sometime in the early afternoon, both divers drove up to the entrance of Blue Spring State Park. According to its website, Blue Spring State Park requires that all divers show proof of certification before entering the water. It also says that divers must leave their certifications visible on the dashboard of their parked car. What Samuel Slack did have, according to the Daytona Beach News-Journal, was a novice open water diver card. This card meant that Slack was legally allowed to enter the water with his diving gear, but he wasn't allowed to dive deep. Upon arrival, both men signed paperwork promising that they would not dive below 60 feet that day. Thanks to this, once they were inside the park, both Samuel Slack and diving partner Daniel Van Sickle were able to assemble their gear and hop in, fins and all, without any further objection from park rangers or other local authority. The water in Blue Spring is a comfortable 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Midday, in the middle of the week, it would have been pristine. Balmy sunshine, cool, clear water, and less crowded than in summer or on a weekend. despite the open underwater space, Slack and Van Sickle intended to stick together for safety reasons. This is actually something the Florida State Park Service requires divers to do. Every diver must have a diving buddy, and they must stay together for the entirety of the dive. The two men may have been following this particular safety protocol, but as records later collected from the wrist-worn diving computer show, they certainly weren't holding true to their signed agreement not to dive below 60 feet. Records show that Van Sickle and Slack dove as deep as 116 feet, virtually hitting the bottom of the deepest recesses of Blue Spring. Now, despite breaking the rules, everything appeared to be going well for Slack and Van Sickle. But then, at around 90 feet below the surface, Slack turned to Van Sickle and made a gesture that still haunts him to this day. Using his finger, Slack made a slashing motion across his own neck. Van Sickle could see there was panic in his diving partner's eyes. This slashing motion was Samuel Slack trying to communicate that he wasn't getting any oxygen. In an effort to calm him down, Daniel Van Sickle took off his own regulator and handed it to the frantic Samuel Slack. This is a technique known as buddy breathing, where one person breathes through the regulator for a short time before handing it back to the other person. By temporarily sharing oxygen this way, Van Sickle hoped he'd be able to buy enough time for Slack to regain focus and attempt to get back out of the water alive. But instead, when it came time for Slack to return the regulator to Van Sickle, he wouldn't give it up. Van Sickle pleaded with him, trying to signal that he needed to turn breathing the oxygen. Slack wouldn't budge. Eventually, in tragic desperation, Daniel Van Sickle reached over and snatched his regulator out of the mouth of Samuel Slack. Van Sickle immediately swam all the way up to the surface to call for help. From the water, he yelled to a park maintenance worker and said they should call 911 immediately.
Snap your W-2 and file your simple tax return with both Fed and State for free. See if you qualify. Get the TurboTax app now.
Living with schizophrenia, people wonder if I'm able to have a social life. They think I can't hang out with my friends. But I can. I DJ with my friends often. I feel good about treatment goals.
Talk to your doctor about schizophrenia treatment options.
Just before 3 p.m., emergency crews in Volusia County were notified of the situation at Blue Spring Park, and personnel were immediately sent to the location. Right after getting the attention of the maintenance worker, Daniel Van Sickle dove back underwater and swam all the way back down to where Samuel Slack still was, 100 feet below. This was perfectly reasonable given the circumstances, but as some of you may already know, swimming rapidly from a depth of 90 feet to the surface and then back down to 90 feet again is normally a really bad idea. Normally, divers are very careful about making periodic stops on their ascent back up from deep underwater. Otherwise, they risk contracting the uniquely horrific condition of decompression sickness. Decompression sickness is essentially when bubbles are formed in your body tissue, and it is exactly what hit Daniel Van Sickle like a ton of bricks while trying to rescue his diving partner. Also known by its nickname, the Bends, decompression sickness can be excruciatingly painful, and in extreme cases, it can even rapidly kill you. Pushing his body to the limit, Van Sickle arrived next to Slack, but this time found him simply floating in place. There was something eerie about the stillness of Slack's body. Nevertheless, Van Sickle wasted no time in continuing to try and rescue his friend and diving partner. Van Sickle was able to inflate Slack's vest, which provided enough flotation for Van Sickle to carry Slack's motionless body up to the surface. The aftermath. Paramedics arrived at Blue Spring State Park that afternoon to find 2 divers in need of immediate medical attention. One was the unconscious Samuel Slack, and the other was Daniel Van Sickle, who was now succumbing to unbearable decompression sickness. Both men's lives were in serious danger. Van Sickle was rushed to a hospital in nearby Orlando and placed in a hyperbaric chamber. This is intensive treatment used by Navy SEALs for the most extreme cases of decompression sickness. Meanwhile, rescue workers attempted to revive Samuel Slack on the shore. Sadly, they were unsuccessful. Slack was pronounced dead on sight, the victim of what was later ruled an accidental drowning. Eventually, Van Sickle was released from the hospital, but despite having survived, he now had to deal not only with the death of his friend, but being the center of an investigation. The Volusia County Sheriff's Office inspected all of the equipment that was used that day, analyzed dive records from both men's wrist-worn computers, and they also questioned Van Sickle. Van Sickle provided an account of the events that was consistent with the dive records. But later, according to the Daytona Beach News Journal, he was advised by lawyers not to cooperate any further with the investigation. Now, as far as I was able to uncover, he has not spoken publicly about the incident since. A spokesperson for the sheriff's office told the press that foul play was not suspected. Instead, investigators were more interested in the possibility of faulty equipment. However, despite scouring all the men's gear, they couldn't find anything wrong with it. In fact, they even found that Samuel Slack's tank was still more than halfway full. Now, how could that be? How could Samuel Slack drown with breathable air literally strapped to his back? One illuminating but frustrating clue came after inspecting the valve on Slack's tank. It was turned only 1/4 of the way open. According to diving experts, that is not normal. If the valve isn't opened all the way, it can create difficulty breathing. We may never know for certain, but it seems like the best explanation for Slack's demise had something to do with his improperly opened valve on his tank. He suddenly found himself unable to get enough air, and in the depths of the water, he panicked. It was an issue that arose from his not knowing how to properly use the equipment, and an issue that persisted due to his not being able to handle the ensuing situation properly. Two things: better training and proper certification would likely have prevented this. But as we know, Samuel Slack never had either one. This proves, once again, that even if they might seem arbitrary sometimes, diving regulations are put in place for a reason. Slack didn't see any reason why he couldn't dive into the depths with his existing level of experience. And tragically, that puts him in the company of many other divers who overestimated their abilities and are now no longer with us. We hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. Please, share your thoughts on the story of Samuel Slack and Daniel Van Sickle in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and please be sure to like the video and subscribe for more content like this in the near future. That's all for now. See you next time.
The only objects of real value are ancient things, like the one you just brought to me.
It calls me, but not on any wavelength I know.
What do I care about another damn war? That's my fortune out there.
That jolt I felt earlier came from the true heart of Team Y. That's right, Nico. I see you.
You and I have the same kind of eyes, but it won't save you in the end. I'm the one calling the shots, not you.
Wait and see, you bull-cut bastard! Let's go for an all-out attack! It's Naruhaya's turn. His weapon is getting behind the opponent's defense. Oh, no, you don't! That's my bad! Nice one! Got it! Keep pressing them! Get that ball!
I'll take that, thanks.
All yours! Every single pass! I'm...
Here's where the teams stand, including our next opponent, Team W.
They have one loss against Team V. If they lose, they're done. The same goes for us.
Looks like they got the better of Team X and Bato, and they had no problem beating us 4-1.
We should consider them stronger then.
Well, we are Team Z, the lowest of the low.
No telling what their playstyle is like.
We can't be sure, but we do know one thing about Team W. Their key players are this dynamic duo, the Wanima brothers. As you can see from the footage, their forte is combination play. When they defeated Bato and the rest of Team X, these two scored 4 of the goals. Distance perception, the timing of their moves, their give-and-goes. Suffice to say, they have an assortment of formidable weapons between them.
But only if they're working as a pair, not individually.
Right. So we split them up. Our best strategy will be to divide and conquer.
Question, why's Iemen handling the briefing? Doesn't Kuon usually handle this?
Usually, but he hasn't finished taking his bath yet. I did okay, right?
Yeah, sure. He may be gone, but our strategy's pretty clear. Right, Gagama?
Man, Kuon's sure taking his time.
Bet you anything he passed out.
Not happening.
Hey, welcome to the meeting, Coach.
Sorry. How much did I miss?
Oh, he lives.
I was thinking about what to call tomorrow's operation, and I lost track of time. How's it going, anyway?
Oh, we were just analyzing some past game footage.
Is that right?
So you nearly did pass out.
Don't go dying on us, otherwise we'll be down to only 10 players.
That'd be the end of us for sure.
This upcoming match, we'll put into practice what we learned from the last game.
I'm not
Operation Next Up It's Me 9 was a success, but it only utilized one player for 10 minutes, so coordination was low. We wasted time when their weapon wasn't viable. For this game, we'll utilize 3 up top with compatible weapons, and we'll rotate the formation 3 times at 30-minute intervals. Using this 3-shift front 3 pattern, we'll all be able to take turns getting a chance to shine. Because of that, I call it Operation Southern All-Stars!
So lame. That's the best you could come up with. You've got the worst taste in names ever.
They're one of my favorite bands. You ever heard Erotica 7? It's a masterpiece.
Thanks, man. At least you get it.
And what about me? I mean, am I gonna be stuck playing goalie again this game?
Why switch things up? It's worked out so far.
Kinda selfish bringing it up now.
Just to let you know, I'm grateful for your sacrifice.
Oh, really? Thanks, Isagi.
How about you? Are you okay with staying on defense, Chigiri?
Maybe you should stop worrying about others and keep your focus on scoring goals instead.
Sure.
All right. We've done the research on our opponent, and we're playing like a unit. Team Z, let's win this thing! Yeah!
That's right. If we lose, we're done. We have to win this.
What do you want to pass? Later? Now? What kind of pass? Come on, tell me. Ah, I see. Aye, sir, coming right up. Pass it to my feet at this particular moment, bro. Yep, you're a soccer genius. What? Oh, crap. And from there, a 1-2. That's what my bro said. What's with these maniacs? Someone stop them!
The first 30 minutes, I'm defense, the right-sided center back. My objective is clear. Stop the two of them from using their combination plays and... What? How did they get through? We studied their moves before the game!
Our weapons go operation through eye contact! It's not something a traditional defense can see through! That's what my bro thinks deep down.
Here they come! Ready, Chigiri?
Chigiri? What do you know it is? The glass genius testing his luck at Blue Lock. Take a look, bro. Can you believe he's still playing soccer? Clinging to past glories and not able to read the writing on the wall. What was that? So true. As his former teammate, I can categorically say...
Your days as a player ended a long time ago, loser.
Well, according to my brother, anyway. Are you sure you want to do that? Run too fast on that glass leg and it may shatter again! What the hell are you trying to pull? That was a blatant foul! It's what my bro would be yelling if he didn't have a mouthful of grass!
Yeah, I know it was borderline, you psycho siblings. But they didn't call it, which means it's legal!
Nice pass, Isagi!
Chigiri! Don't pay any attention to these two morons. Remember, your past doesn't matter. In my eyes, you're Hyoma Chigiri, and you belong on Team Z.
Yeah, enough with the positivity. I told you to leave me alone.
You idiot. I wasn't saying it for you. I'm not like you. I never had past achievements. I'm here because I didn't want to give up playing soccer. I chose to come to Blue Lock to turn my life around. I might not know all about you, or your injury. But what I do know is we're strikers. Regret, pain, everything weighing us down. All it takes is one goal, and it's behind us! Who cares about ancient history? What I want to see is what you can do now. Why are you here? Did you come to Blue Lock to quit, or to prove you're a striker?
What the hell? Isn't it the defender's job to stop them? He asked you a question. Sorry.
Okay.
Let's go get him! You ready, my bro? With the two of us combining, it'll be another easy win. Snap out of it! You're saying too much with that dumb expression. Look out! They're coming in from the side!
Eyes on the prize or you'll lose it. I'll take that.
What'd I tell you? Get your head in the game!
We got a new target, man. Who knew it'd be Kuon? Kinda high, but since jumping is your weapon, you can reach that. Really? You're taking the shot from there?
Goalie couldn't even react! How's he managed to keep scoring?
You're getting all these chances, you cheater.
I can feel it. I'm on fire today.
Nice job.
Don't get cocky just because you made fluky goal! I hear you loud and clear, bro, but you gotta focus, so stay frosty!
Right! 30 minutes is up, which means we get to play up front!
Wouldn't be fair letting Kuon have all the fun. We're gonna go all out!
by Junichi Wanima. Team Z receives a free kick.
See you right. Thanks a lot.
Their team's in shambles. What gives? Their marking's weakest. Ah, there.
Again? The same guy? Boom! Like my hat trick?
Until today, he never really stood out as an exemplary player. But he's amazing.
Sweet! We're 3-zip at halftime, thanks to Kuon here. You're really stepping up today. Man, oh man. Like Keisuke Honda said, the ketchup is flowing today. Things are going so well, it's scary.
Just you wait. I'll get a hat trick and make the score 6-0.
Kuon's Operation Southern All-Stars is a hit. Better than anyone expected.
I thought it was lame at first, but now it sounds kind of cool.
Hey, for the record, I was on board with the name from the beginning.
Stick to the plan. Sound good?
Yeah!
Thanks to Kuon's play, everyone's attacking more aggressively. We're getting stronger every game.
Everyone ready?
Yeah!
This is where soccer's most intense. Where we belong. I can't imagine anyone wanting to give up now. Right, Shigiri?
The Naichi show's starting, so get ready, suckers! So, is it the great big bro himself to come and stop me? Nice.
Naichi, pass it back for now. Let's take our time and make it count.
Okay, but then pass it back. Stop hogging all the glory for yourself.
Of course. Team Z's victory is what matters here.
The glory's mine, loser! You know why you lost the ball!
So those two dropped back into midfield? I'll stop them, even if it means risking a foul!
Take it in!
I got this, guys!
Your ball!
Damn it! We've got to do something about those two. They're too dangerous as a pair.
We're still up by 2 goals. Panicking won't help, so let's pass it around and build up steadily.
Yeah, he's right. We're still up. No need to freak out yet.
Isagi, here!
He's passing it back to me, and it's way under hit!
Sorry!
Such a stupid, careless mistake, and it's killing us!
You idiot! What the hell are you doing? Got yourself a hat trick and now you can't focus!
Calm down, man! No fighting!
I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me. This game means everything and I'm blowing it. Forgive me!
Pull yourself together. It's not like you did it on purpose or anything. Let's just keep going.
What? You're letting him off the hook? Jerk cost us 2 goals! He should be sorry!
We're still in the lead. Let's come up with a plan to keep it that way.
Right. Do we want to keep attacking, or should we start playing more defensively?
Come on, Kuon. Stand up.
I'm sorry.
This is bad. We have to stop the next shot from going in. Or we're totally screwed. Did he just smile? Maybe I imagined it.
Down to a 1-goal lead with 30 minutes left? We need to turn...
Oh, we're totally screwed. Did he just smile? Maybe I imagined it.
Down to a 1-goal lead with 30 minutes left? We need to turn that 3 into a 4!
Yeah, I say we attack.
I can get behind that. Right, Isagi?
Right! We'll get the next goal and swing the momentum in our favor. Then we'll dominate.
Come on, I'm ready!
Don't let them dictate the pace.
This is the combination we practiced, with Isagi as the pivot, and Bachida and I forming a triangle to slice through them. If a chance presents itself, I'm ready to hit a mid-range shot. And the goal's still too far away, and there's no path through to it. If Bachida can use his dribbling to break up their formation...
Hey, rude.
Doesn't look like the path to Bachida is open anymore. In that case, Isagi!
Wait a sec. How did they know we were looking to link up?
Anyone tell you you're annoying?
Oh, shit. It's strange. Even if they've been studying us, there's no way they could see through our combination. Not when it's our first time using it. Our weapons are being broken down and turned into scrap. I can't smell a goal.
Nice save, bro!
Damn it! Something isn't right. Somehow they must know our plans. No, there's no way that's true. If we lose, we go down together. It doesn't make any sense for him to betray us.
Oh, like my hat trick? Jerk cost us 2 goals! He should be sorry!
That's right. All the goals scored in this game have one player in common.
Tie it up, bro! You got this, Kuon! Clear it!
He missed it on purpose. Kuon, you're betraying us?
I can't cast
your own team.
It's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging.
Bingo! They figured it out, might as well come clean. He told us everything. Your tactics, each player's weapons and weaknesses. All of it leaked to us in advance. Turns out a certain someone sneaked out during your team meeting last night. Decided he'd rather have one with us and see if we'd agree to his plan.
That's where he was.
You're finished.
The game was ours from the very beginning.
And you can quote me and my brother on that.
This is a joke. Kuon, tell me it's a joke.
No, it's not. Major yikes. This is capital B bullshit! You're dead, hear me? What the hell were you thinking, huh?
Why are you mad? I'm doing my best to survive inside Blue Lock, the same as you.
Yellow card for Jingo Raichi. Return to your hub immediately and resume the game.
Resume what? How do you expect me to play under these conditions? Hey, dude! What's going on with you?
It's just like that song, Selfishly Sinbad.
If we lose, it's over! What's the point of trying to throw the game?
I'm on a team full of idiots. After you lose, 10 of you will be going home.
It's still
And me,
recharging.
I'll be the lone survivor.
We couldn't have done it without you, Kuon! He passed the ball to the other team?
From here on out, we're playing 12 on 10.
Are you going to sit here and allow this, Ego?
Shut your mouth and watch the game.
How am I supposed to do that?
Now then, Team C, what's your play?
Why? Tell me that!
When you made that last goal against Team Y and won the game for us, it got me thinking. It's common sense. As a team, we're always going to be walking a tightrope, and the chances of us making it through this tournament are slim. According to the chart, our final opponent is Team V. Out of all the teams in our group, they're the only ones with 2 wins. They obliterated Team Y 8-0, while we struggled to even get a single point. There's no way we can beat them. So I decided to give up on winning as a team and chose instead to focus on moving up the ladder alone.
What do you mean?
Come on, don't you remember? Before the first selection started, Ego mentioned a special rule. If your team doesn't make the top 2 spots, you're done. But if you're its top scorer, you get to proceed to the next selection regardless. I saw an opportunity and made a deal. I promise to give Team W info on us and ultimately help them win the match in exchange for scoring 3 goals. Get it yet? I'll end up the top scorer on the team in advance.
Bastard! You're telling me all the battles we went through meant nothing? You said we can't win on our own!
Thank you, Isagi. I mean that. This wouldn't have worked if you weren't so gullible. How naive. Or did you forget this is Blue Lock? Bonds and teamwork won't help you in the end. You need a bit of ego to steamroll the competition. And sometimes that means betraying people. Don't blame me. I'm just listening to my ego. Thanks, QC. You were a big help.
Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! You're not going out! Not like this!
That's still recharging. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet.
I've always known that I was born to prove my talent. Using these legs to soar past my opponents was a joy given to me and me alone. I would outrun them all and eventually become the best striker in the world. Back then it seems like a foregone conclusion. That was the future awaiting me. But
すぎんだろう倒す気は何匹もできるくらい忘れないでくれ運命のラムならあがけ開き上がったらいい邪魔だ突っ込んでも蛇口はもうどうでもいい君はどうだかつてないキャッチリート
Thanks, Team Z. You were a big help.
You won't get away with this, Kuon! I'll kill you!
Calm down, Raichi! You're gonna get a red card!
So, you betrayed us. Not nice.
What are we gonna do? We've got a two-man disadvantage now!
Damn it! I can't let it end like this! I'll find a way to crush them!
Come on, just give it up already. Like I told you, Kuon spilled everything. We know your weapons and your tactics down to the last little detail. Check you, Yuichi Isagi. Apparently, your spatial awareness is really something special, but you're a helpless moron who can't do anything on his own.
He's right, Isagi. Give up. Soccer is a sport that's played by teams of 11 after all. If it's 12 on 10, well, you don't stand a chance of winning.
It's on! Defend, guys!
Not only do they know our tactics, we're fielding 10 players against their 12. If they score again, that's it. We won't be able to turn this around.
Heads up!
Nice try!
Good save, Amon!
Get possession of the ball! Just one more goal! We don't have to win, but we can't lose! We only need to tie. If we get a goal and level the scores, it'll be a draw, and we'll still have a chance! I'll defend this goal even if it kills me!
Chickadee, go!
Such a slowpoke. It won't matter for long, though. We'll end your soccer career and put you out of your misery. You can just stand there and watch.
The hell are you doing, Chickadee? Move, numbnuts!
Shut your mouth.
Listen up, newbies. Rakosute Business High School is a regular qualifier for the National High School Soccer Championship. And we're its twin star players, the Wanima brothers.
Respect your betters if you know it's good for you.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, bro.
Excuse me. I'm here to win the championship, and ideally make a name for myself in the process. This hierarchy doesn't serve that goal. Also, it's dumb.
Oh, yeah? And who are you, huh?
Name's Hyoma Chigiri. Will you agree to shut up once I've beaten you?
So fast! What's with this guy?
To take advantage of Chigiri's speed, we'll go with one up top next match. The national title's within our grasp.
Don't get all cocky just because Coach likes you.
That's my bro's advice, and you ought to listen.
Cocky? No, I'm simply realistic. It all comes down to talent.
Yeah, please tell me more, Mr. Genius.
Maybe later. Talent isn't handed out equally. I am one of the chosen few. The day I outran everyone for the first time at the age of 6, soccer became everything to me. In this world, there are those who have talent and those who don't. And I've known for a long time that I was born to prove mine.
Keep this up and it won't be long before you're a national sensation. You must be proud.
Not really. I can do a lot more. You'll see.
You're the best! The genius striker!
Using these legs to soar past my opponents was a joy given to me, and me alone. I would outrun them all, and eventually become the best striker in the world. Back then, it seemed like a foregone conclusion. That was the future awaiting me.
I'm sorry. We're looking at a right ACL tear. Hyoma is unique. His leg muscles have developed in a special way, and that distinct musculature is what makes him such an incredible sprinter. If he were to experience a tear in the same place again, I'm afraid it would be difficult for him to continue playing soccer.
The genius isn't looking so smart now.
I feel bad for him.
Oh, hey! It's been a while, hasn't it, Mr. Not-So-Genius anymore? Why are you here? You can't do that fancy running trick of yours, so what are you even worth these days? I mean, it all comes down to talent, right? And your talent's a no-show. Well, sucks to be you, former genius!
Damn it. Damn it.
Hey everyone, Chigury's back. You've worked so hard to get to this point. Don't push yourself. Just take your time and ease back in.
Yes, sir.
What's the matter, Mr. Not-So-Genius anymore? You feeling winded? Pretty pathetic. Where's that speed you were always so proud of?
Shut up. You know nothing.
You scared to sprint? Wouldn't want to damage that knee again, would ya? Shut up!
It's not wrecking my right leg again that scares me. Not really. All this time, I truly believed I could become the best in the world. And if I lose that, I lose who I am. Ever since then, I've been looking for an excuse to give up. 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes, and we lose. And finally, I can put soccer behind me.
Run, Chigury! Come on! It's not over yet!
King's honor, friend.
That was nice work, you guys! Now get the ball!
Isugi, again!
Right!
Come on now! We know your weapons and tactics, remember? Why keep going when the second try's no better than the first? It's 12 against 10, dude! Well, there's not long left now. Let's defend our lead!
Damn it! What do we do? If we don't break through their defense, then we're screwed! Bachin is being marked constantly. Kunigami has no space to take a shot. Played into the penalty area? No, that won't work. Not when we're outnumbered like this. Find it. Think. There has to be a route to goal somewhere.
Aw, look, that's so cute. You really believe you can win if you refuse to give up, don't you? There's no place for that kind of naivete in a match. You can keep fighting, but the game ends when the game ends, whether you're ready or not. There, see? It's nearly over. You're going to lose.
Oh, shit!
Okay, it's additional time! 3 minutes! This is bad! Isugi, pass it!
Come on! No, I don't want it to end here. If we can't use our weapons, I'll tear them apart myself!
The frick is this? I thought that number 11 was useless on its own! What's he doing?
What the hell? He's gone berserk! I'll do it! I will score!
Nice interception, bro! Don't scare us like that, buddy! Your dribbling's freaking terrible!
Hey! How stupid are you?
Yeah, stop hogging the ball! It's not just you out here, idiot!
What's he doing? Is he delusional or something?
I will score! I will! Pass it around!
Coordinate with Isugi and press them! Quick team! Let's get him back!
Why won't you just give up? Defend! Keep it away from them!
He's right. Give up already. Stop this, Isugi. Stop chasing the ball. Stop looking so determined. Stop believing in yourself and playing like you've got nothing to lose.
Chigury! Get the ball! Wake up! Move it!
Pass the ball, Isugi! Hey, are you listening?
Did you just tell me to move it? Yeah, well, screw you. If we lose, I can put an end to this. I can give up on soccer and be at peace. So why, damn it? Why am I feeling this? It's you, Isagi. Yeah, I see it now. You're like I was back then. Believing you could be the best in the world. And putting everything you are into soccer.
Get the ball! If we lose it, we're done!
I'm scared. But what am I afraid of? No longer being known as the genius? Re-injuring my right leg? Not getting to play soccer anymore? The truth is, none of that matters. Not as much as what I'm feeling right now.
It's heading for the touchline! This match is over, boys!
What I can't afford to lose, what I have to believe in, is the rush I get watching you play. And the fire it lights inside me.
It's in play! Isagi, pass the ball!
No more waiting. If it tears again, so be it. I don't care if this is my last match. Ready or not, leg. I'm the best striker in the world. I'll prove it! I can smell a goal.
Let's go! Get one last play in!
You got the freaking pass, Isagi! You can't do this alone!
No, something's changed. I can feel it. Running down the opposite flank, hugging the touchline. I see you. Isagi, pass it! Are you ready? Time to let your weapon shine. Show us what you've got!
Where are you passing? The weapon my team's there! What the heck, dude? Thanks for that, moron. We'll clear it and it's game over. Go on, get the ball! Way ahead of you.
No. With the speed he's going. That's right. I can do this. I was born to.
Team Z, say goodbay, because this game is ours.
Move it. Outrun them. Feel the rush and break through.
That's what your weapon is? No way! How could you hide that from us? Is he for real?
He's fast.
No! Come back here! Someone stop him!
It's been so long. Legs pumping. Feet digging into the ground. Until the field becomes a blur.
Oh crap, he got his old speed back? We gotta stop him, bro! Even if it means a foul!
I don't care about being called a genius. Or about my soccer career. The thing that matters most is the fierce joy I felt the day I played for the first time. The rush of breaking past someone. That's what this game is all about for me. It's a joy given to me, and me alone!
Oh, what's Chickadee doing, guys? You're kidding me! He's trying to catch up to it! Dude, pass to himself! Stop him! Permanently!
This is it. What I was looking for. The only time I believe in myself is when someone's eating my dust.
Chickadee! Don't stop! What's the big rush? Didn't think I could catch up, huh?
Not fast enough. Accelerate. Kick on the afterburners. And zero in on the prize.
Come on, goalie! Get to the ball first! Move! Stop him!
One final time. I will dream! What I want is another chance to become the best. Another chance to play soccer!
Hell yeah!
You seeing this, Isagi? Everyone else get a good look too, because this is the real Chigiri Hyoma. My man!
All right!
We survive yet again.
Chigiri!
I can't believe it.
You're telling me. Your speed. It's incredible. And that goal.
Yeah, you're to blame. Watching you got me so fired up. Next thing I knew, I was sprinting. For the longest time, I didn't know what was important to me anymore. I was stuck in the past, until I realized the athlete I used to be no longer exists. But the new me can also love soccer. Even if this could all end in a second, it's worth the risk. Starting today, I want to put my faith in who I am now. Thank you for all your help. I don't know how long this luck will hold up, but I'm gonna keep running on it. Until this fire decides to burn out.
Good. Then let's fight together.
Together? Don't get the wrong idea, Slowpoke. This is Blue Lock after all.
Point taken.
I'm gonna be the best striker in the world.
Yeah? Good luck with that. Because you're competing with me.
Dude, that weapon! Why were you keeping it a secret from us?
Pretty boy here saved us. Turns out you're more than just a stuck-up prima donna.
Thanks a lot. Good thing I stepped in or we would have lost.
Yeah, you're right. The way things went, a draw is huge.
We were hanging on by a thread back there, huh?
Kuon's life is gonna be hanging on by less.
What's this bullshit you're pulling? Slip your mind to mention Jiggity's leg runs on rocket fuel! The drill was we're supposed to wait!
Please, I didn't know. Why would I go back on my promise?
You're as good as dead! My thoughts exactly right! Get off of him! Oh yeah? Looks like someone else wants to get murdered!
Yo, Browse, mind keeping your hands off my teammate?
Hey! Where are you going? Come back, you bastard!
Your attention. Matches 7 and 8 for Building 5 are now complete. Here are the results.
Only one more left to go.
Let's be real. It's a miracle we managed to end up with a draw.
When I saw Isugi go berserk, I had no idea what we were in for.
Sorry, but there wasn't any other way to attack.
You're not the kind of player who's built to take somebody one-on-one. Do it again and I'll kill you. I am starving. Yeah, all of us are.
Final match of the selection is against Team V, the only team in Building 5 who hasn't lost a match yet.
Who cares who our next opponent is gonna be? All we've gotta do is win.
Not like we have a chance with just 10 of us.
You said it.
Hold up. Do you guys hear that?
Basically, the deal is I give you info on Team Z, the kind you could use to keep them from making goals. And in exchange, you guys let me advance as the team's top scorer. You do that, and I can promise you one thing. You'll have the advantage in every single match.
And there he goes, back at it.
Let me kill him.
Cool your bloodlust.
So, in closing, by working together, I guarantee your chances of making it through the second selection will skyrocket. Well, what do you say? Want to partner up?
I refuse. Sounds like a bother. Boring to boot.
Those 3 guys, they're from Team V.
You realize the proposition you're proposing is devoid of any merit whatsoever. In fact, it would be a demerit. Essentially, your main priority making this little arrangement is taking an initiative approach. So, did that make sense to anyone else?
What do you knock it off, Zantetsu? Nothing's gonna help make your dumbass sound any smarter. As for you, I never could stand people who are lame or boring. And you exhibit both those qualities.
It's your call, Deo. I couldn't care less. I don't even have the energy to chew my food. Give me a piggyback out of here.
Nagi, I brought you to the cafeteria in the first place because you said you were hungry.
Sorry, but it's too much of a hassle right now.
Very tempting. A half-eaten steak. But eating someone else's scraps will make me look stupid. Tough choice.
Wait a sec! We can work something out!
Hey, Adeo. Any idea why this guy is so desperate?
Guess he wants to win.
Yum, so worth it.
You can't win without sneaking around? Being weak sounds like such a hassle. I'd rather just quit playing. Hey, Dale. Is soccer so interesting you'd still play even on the losing side?
Hey, hold up!
And who are you?
Never look down on soccer!
You still haven't answered my question.
I'm with Team Z, Yoichi Isugi. And I'm the one who's gonna defeat you.
additional time. That's not it. Something just doesn't feel right.
Here, a headband might do the trick.
Oh, thank you. Great idea. Kunigami, you thoughtful stud.
Yeah, well, I've got 2 sisters myself. So I know how the feminine mind works.
And who are you calling feminine? Also, fashion's not strictly about functionality. It's about how it makes you feel and pumps you up.
Dude, not bad. Looking good.
Not right either.
Excuse me, princess. Everybody's kinda waiting on you so the meeting can start.